Hello and welcome. Today we are learning about user input in JavaScript by looking at a few examples and pitfalls along the way. Let's get started. As we get started today, you'll see I have Visual Studio Code on the left side of the screen, and on the right side I have Chrome open to DevTools. You're not seeing much of the actual web page preview that I have in mobile mode at this point, so I'll just drag that back over because we don't really need it. What we want is the console, and we're going to look at some pop-up boxes we're going to interact with the user of the web page with. And the very first one that we'll come back to is kind of a refresher because we had it in the very first tutorial in this series, and that is the alert pop-up, and it just shows the user some information and asks them to click OK. You don't really get any other data back from that, so we just put in hello world as we did in the first tutorial for our hello world. When I save this, you can see on the screen we get the pop-up box. It gives the name of the website, and in this case it's just my local IP address 127.0.0.1, and then 5500 is the port number, and that's because I'm using the live server extension in Visual Studio Code as I do in most of these tutorials. And it says hello world, and all the user can do is click OK. There's no real data coming back. We just wait for the user to respond to the prompt, click OK, and we're finished with that. However, the others we'll discuss do return data. So let's look at what we can do there. Instead of just an alert, we can put in a confirm, and I'll put exactly what happens or what it returns in the text we display. So OK equals true. Then I'm going to put in a line break. That is a backslash and an N that equals a line break. And then I'm going to put cancel equals false. And that is what a confirm returns. So let's go ahead and save that. You'll see the box pop up. Once again, you get the website name, and then it says OK equals true, cancel equals false on 2 lines, and that's what we entered into our confirm. And if we click OK, the confirm returns a true value. And if we click cancel, it returns a false value. But we didn't put anything there to receive that data. So let's go ahead and define a variable called my boolean, and now let's log my boolean to the console just so we can confirm we are receiving that data back as expected. Save that, and I click OK, and you see true in the console. Save it once again to relaunch it, and I click cancel, and we get false in the console just as expected. So that's great. Now let's look at the third type of pop-up we can use, and we'll put a variable named name, and it's equal to a prompt. That is the third type, and we'll put in here, please enter your name. We're actually asking for direct input from the user, where the user gets to type into an input box, and we will get the value back in return. So let's log that value so we can see what happens. And here's the input box as it pops up, and it says please enter your name. I'm back in the code here. I need to type in the box, enter my name, and that's what we see in the console. But you notice there was also a cancel button. What happens if we click cancel? Let's see what we get. We get a null value. So we have to plan for that because we can't do the same things with a null value that we can with string data, which is what we got back when I entered in my name. So we have to check for that. And null could also translate as false, just like undefined data can, just like the value of 0 can, and of course the Boolean value of false. So we can check for that in a couple of ways. One newer way to check for that in JavaScript is with the Nullish Coalescing operator, and that is 2 question marks. And this will say if name has a value, log name to the console. And then if it does not, if it's null or undefined, go ahead and send this to the console. And we'll put you didn't enter your name. So now if I click cancel, the console says you didn't enter your name. But if I go ahead and enter my name, click OK, we get Dave. So that is how the nullish Coalescing operator works. However, there's an issue here as well, and let me show you what could happen. I won't enter anything, and I'll click OK. And now we just got a blank line. That's not so great either. Let's check just to make sure what type of data we get when we just click OK. It's still string data. It's just not really anything. And so we would want to check for that possibly by checking the length property with an if statement, something along those lines. So what we could do is put if and then just check the length property, because if there is no length, it will be 0. And so that would make it false as far as this evaluation or this if statement evaluation goes. Save that. We won't enter anything and click OK. And nothing happens because it doesn't pass the evaluation of this if statement. So then we could put else, and essentially we'll have the same response of you didn't enter your name. So now we've got you didn't enter your name from line 6, as you see here. And if we click cancel, now we're checking the length property and it's null. That won't work for us. So what we better do is check to see if name exists at all. And that might be a better solution. If we just check the length property, we can't do that with null. Likewise, we can't check methods with null. We can with a string though. So checking properties and methods before checking for null with the nullish Coalescing operator, or as we're going to now with just if name has a value, and if it doesn't, null won't pass this test. And so that might be a better way to do this whole thing, really. And we could still have you didn't enter your name, and then here all we really need is to log name. That's a little more concise too. So let's check that out now. If I click OK, we get you didn't enter your name. And now I'll just make a change and save it again. If I click cancel, you didn't enter your name. And if I enter my name, it's okay. And so this works a little better for us. So we really have to be prepared to check that user data that is entered. Now, there could be something else that comes up. Maybe there's a lot of extra white space, something like that. And of course, we could also check equality for specific values if we're looking for specific values. But white space is something that comes up fairly often. So let's do this just so you can see the issue. After we know name exists, we can check the length. And then let's check the length again after we trim the white space with the trim method, and then I'll chain the length property onto that. And then when we log to the console the actual name, we'll trim that as well. So now I'll type my name, leave a lot of spaces afterwards, spaces that we wouldn't want in a database. We wouldn't want taking up space when we repeat the data back to the user or on a web page. Click OK. Look, it was 65 characters long before we trimmed it. trimmed it down to the actual 4 characters without the white space that could be at the beginning or the end of the string. It will trim both. And then we logged the name to the console. Hi, I'm Dave, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Remember to keep striving for daily progress instead of perfection. Subscribe to my channel and ring the bell to be alerted when I post new tutorials. I'll see you next time.